We have an interesting topic for discussion. And I think I would want to just start with some background. We have the region has witnessed an incredible growth in businesses and especially tech businesses over the last decade. I come from my own experience way back in the Middle East when I came to Dubai in 2015, and I was kind of looking for tech businesses in the region. I Googled, I couldn't find much. Um, and then obviously from those days we have an acquisition by Uber in the region, we have an acquisition by Amazon in the region, and there are a lot of new businesses that have been built on. So and as we can see, I mean, we go through Sheikh Zayed, there are so many billboards, and everybody is trying to get customer attention and acquisition. But in the end, and we will discuss a lot more on this, uh, the end game is about who is able to retain the customer, who is able to build that customer loyalty, who is able to build that stickiness where the customers keep coming back to your business again and again because there is something that you give which none of the other businesses in the space provide. And this is where a lot of businesses make the difference. I'll give an example and then we'll start with some questions. There's this new feature where you can pay your bill, your Etisalat bill or a Do bill via Kareem app, and I was like, why would I even do that? It's super simple to pay the mobile bill through the Do app. But then I just went on to Kareem app and I saw it was super easy, and it was literally one click, and my bill payment was done. And from that day on, I've never ever gone back to the Do app. So I think it's about understanding the customer, understanding the behavior, and building that stickiness. Akash, let's maybe start from you and kind of looking into how Etisalat has been changing over the last few years. Can you talk a bit about how we are looking at this change from a very telco based company to a tech company, and how has your experience been being part of this change?
Yeah, sure. Actually, what has happened is over the past few years, in fact, in 2021, uh, we moved away from being a telco to something called as a techco.
Mhm.
Uh, the thought process and the vision behind this transformation is that the world in itself is moving, they're becoming more digital. We, being a telecom operator, sit on huge amount of data ourselves, right? And I think somebody from the previous panel was talking about, we have car information, we have all the information that is there, but it is all hashed. So I am bringing in the security parameter of it on top of it. So the thing is that jokes apart. So the thing is that when we went into this transformation, we knew that for sure that we need to be the digital pinnacle of this space. Having said that, we also know that even Etisalat in itself would not be able to do this transformation on their own. So therefore, what we did was that you would have seen in last few years, there has been a lot of mergers, acquisitions, partnerships that have happened in which Etisalat is kind of now moving away from offering in only data or basically voice as services to becoming an international company that is into every facet of life. So we at this point of time know that whenever there's a customer who comes on to us, he can come on to us for every need that he's having in, be it buying an insurance, be it buying a, I don't know, coming on to a loyalty platform, be it in form of a data solution, be it in form of a a cloud solution or so. Just to give you few examples. And the world is actually moving towards that. So therefore, right now, if you look at us in terms of competition. We do not consider ourselves as a we do not consider other telecom operators as our competitors now anymore. So we've moved away from that. We moved away from being a technological company that is now focusing towards the digital future. Thank you.
Got it. Super interesting. And, you were talking about loyalty. Would you talk a bit more about the Smiles loyalty that is being worked upon? What's the thought process behind that?
See, Smiles, if you talk about, I don't know if people over here know about it. Smiles was launched in 2017 as a discount platform. What it used to do was that initially it used to give people could go out there on the app, look at some discount vouchers. We had partners who had put their offers out there, and they could buy a discount voucher or so. Over the last few years, what has happened is that Smiles in itself has become an app that stitches together all the e-end companies. So it's the loyalty program that's there inside the app, as well as for the other other player that is available in the market as well. So what happens is that inside the Smiles app in itself, if you go today, you can see food delivery, you can see grocery delivery, you can see home services, you can see vouchers, you can see health, you can see e-shops, you can buy devices, you can do your bill payment and recharges, obviously, and a whole lot of other services. In total, right now, we are having approximately 42 services inside the Smiles app, all bonded together by a currency called as Smiles Points, which in again is it's a gratification that we give to the customers in terms of they can earn and burn Smiles Points, and they can use these within the ecosystem of Etisalat as well. So Smiles has moved away from being basically an app that used to give discount vouchers into a full-fledged loyalty program in itself that binds together all the customers of e-and together, and becomes one single point or one single currency that is being used across the board. uh, One important point to kind of note here is that post the launch of Smiles, what we have seen in Etisalat, especially, what has happened is that our NPS scores, our CSAT scores, our top of mind awareness, and our intent to purchase. These four parameters are there, which you look at from a larger perspective. If you have to look at how is your program behaving, what we have seen is that, and we do a target group versus a control group methodology to find this out. It's an old telco thing that we do. We know that for sure that people who are there on the loyalty platform versus the customers who are not, there is a sizable difference in these scores for them. And the difference is not only in one parameter. So what kind of binds it together is that it is not only on one parameter. All these four parameters that are there, which talk about, which basically lead to the higher CLTV of the customer, it has been there for all these customers that are there on the app. So in short, we have got more engaged customers with us now, thanks to the program that we have having it.
That's super interesting, and I think users in UAE are spoiled for choices and spoiled for loyalty programs. Anubrata, I think let's switch gears a bit. I know you are from the Titan eyewear business, so I would love to hear from you. How do you think about customer engagement and retention? How has the loyalty programs evolved over the decades while you've been setting up business in UAE, coming from an India market? How do you think about this, and how things have been evolving over the last few years?
Sure. So it's a fairly open-ended and large question, right? I mean, I have to pack the journey of a decade in, let's say, a few minutes. But I think before that, I'll talk about some of the basics. And what I'll try to do here is, I think a lot of you are from the tech industry, but I'll try to bring in a little bit of an offline perspective to the things, right? But before that, I hope a lot of you know about Titan. Those who, for the benefit of others, we are a large, India is one of the largest and most admired retail brands. We have categories like jewelry, eyewear, watches, fashion accessories, and we have over 3,000 plus stores in India. And we are rapidly expanding in many emerging and evolved markets. And currently, our products are being sold in 30 plus countries. Coming to loyalty, I think loyalty is an outcome of customer centricity. And customer centricity is something that is built into our culture, right? I mean, we are part of the Tata Group, and Titan has always been extremely customer centric. Now, customer centricity basically means whether people love you or not, right? And for someone to love you, there are a lot of things that you have to do right. Okay, so I think over the past so many years, we have done things right, and we are getting the love from customers. Talking more specifically about a customer loyalty program, we have a program called the Encircle. It has over 28 million members as of now. And the fact that we operate in so many different categories with so many product groups in so many price points, the amount of data that we are able to capture from each of the customer is very rich, and we always extrapolate it from, let's say, if a customer is behaving a certain way in a certain brand, what are the hypotheses that I can run, and let's say send them a tailor-made offer or a communication which make them feel get a little more engaged with the brand. This is, however, about Titan Encircle, which is our in-house loyalty program. But over the past 2 years, we have also expanded into all customer-facing businesses of the Tata Group itself. Now, even today, you are sitting at a Tata Group hotel, right? Which is the Taj. So imagine you book a hotel at Taj, you get some loyalty points, you redeem it to buy groceries online, you can buy medicines online. So we have built a super app called the Tata New. And now the large, that is the next level of the loyalty program that we are running across the Tata Group.
Amazing, and I'm sure the audiences are taking a note of this. So, Sonubrata, as a business leader, you are always on lookout for value creation, and not just value creation, but how do you generate incremental value, right? So, in these loyalty programs or in these ways of engaging and retaining customers, when you look into personalization, how do you look at incremental value creation? Are you able to judge that incremental value creation when you use personalization versus, let's say, when you use a one size fits all approach? How do you see that difference?
Yeah, so talking about personalization, I think, again, I'm trying to bring in the offline perspective. While a lot of you would have spoken about web personalization and everything, I think if you look at retail, right, every day with every customer walking in, we have the leverage of creating a unique experience for that person, right? I mean, our staff, they are trained to probe. They will ask you questions to understand your lifestyle in a little, in far more detail. And that is how, let's say, we understand our customers, right? We try to make the conversations as enriching as possible. And while AI and everything else is catching up really fast, I still believe that only a human can understand a human really well, right? So I think while we do a lot of things on the tech space, but this is one aspect that I would like to talk about, and this is how we kind of create our personalization, so to say. Okay, now let's say talking about the metrics that we track, more specifically about eye care. We track the NPS scores, Net Promoter Scores, which is largely hygiene, but we also have something called an honest selling score. Now, if you think of eyewear as a category, or eye care as we call it, category, I mean, it requires a lot of trust of the people, because you are dealing with their eyes, right? So we to give you an example, let's say I understand the customer's need, requirements, and everything else. And basis that, I will do a consultative selling. It's not that I will sell them the most expensive product that is available with me. In fact, we may penalize the people if you have not sold the correct product to the correct consumer. So imagine you're telling a customer, see, I know this is a 5,000 dirham product. It is the best product that we have. But looking into your lifestyle and the way you work, the amount of time you spend in your laptop and all those things, I think the 1,000 dirham solution is best for you. Now imagine the trust that you're able to get from that customer, and the loyalty that you will eventually be able to get out of it, right? That, okay, here is one brand that is not trying to oversell me and get all the money out of my pocket. So, so I think that is something that we do differently.
You need to tell me where the stores are in Dubai. So Akash, let's take the conversation on the marketing technology side, and how does Etisalat use the marketing technologies? What kind of martech stack you guys work with? How do you work with on customer engagement and retention using these tools?
Actually, see, if you look at today's world and right now where we are sitting in, I don't know if you guys know about Scott Bringer. He's one of the guys who talks about Martech a lot. If you see, he bought in 2023 May. He bought in the Martech landscape for 2023. Since its launch 15 years ago, wherein there were approximately 180 odd companies that were there in the landscape, this year in itself, so 2023, there are 11,800 something companies that are there. So what you call as the paradox of choices. You have got a lot of choices available there in the market. People trying to, or basically companies trying to resolve either a niche or trying to resolve a lot of problem statements that a large or a small scale company can have. Having said that, or for the matter Etisalat, like I was earlier saying, most of the products are in-house, because what has happened is that with this vision change also, the thought that comes into play is that if, let's say, for example, I have to build in something that could be useful for my stack, should be first tried in, obviously, in-house, and then obviously we look at other players that are there in the market. If there's a solution that is there that will help us, we use that. But coming back to the point from a stack perspective, if I have to go and talk about few things, let's say, let me give you an example of Smiles in itself. You need to firstly know where is your customer actually coming in from. So definitely you'd be requiring something that will help you attribute, right? Be it an offline or an online business. What happens to us is that because there are so many touch points that are available at this point of time, there is a data point, and we call it data point, sitting at every nook and corner, right? A customer interaction gone wrong, a customer complaining online, offline, at a store, at a kiosk, at a till, is also a data point. Combining all these data points from offline into a central repository, or maybe, I don't know, you want to call it a CDP or so, and then being able to identify that these data points that are there, would you be able to get a meaningful information out of that, and be able to orchestrate or give the right amount of information to the customer, what he is actually desiring, at the right moment is something that we work on from a martech perspective. So I would say definitely an attribution platform, bare minimum, I'm talking bare minimum, an attribution platform, a CDP, uh, a journey builder, and for sure uh, analytics and analytical tools that are there that are required in to combine and dovetail all these together so that you can make meaningful actionable information out of the plethora of data that is available. When you do that, a sprinkle of machine learning, a sprinkle of AI on top. See, machine learning, and I don't know, people will agree with me or not. Uh, AI as a term is something that I don't use often. It looks like statistics in a red hot skirt, to be honest. Uh, but for me, machine learning is something that's important, because what happens is that, and I'm not talking about generative AI. What happens is that we know today for sure that when we are interacting with the customer, what is the next best action, or not only an offer. I'm not talking about a next best offer. I'm talking about a next best action that a customer should be doing why to basically get the benefit, most of the benefit from EAND. Uh, while having said that, we have built-in rules on top, or machine learning algorithms on top, that tell us that, okay, over the last 4 months or 6 months, this customer has had an interaction with you 5 or 6 times, and he is on the verge of going into dormancy or churn. So we take a it's a reactive decision that we take at that point of time, that okay, something needs to be corrected. So all this would not be possible if you would not be having in the best of the stack available with you from a analytics perspective as well. So I know I took a lot of time to kind of answer this question, but uh, analytics and machine learning are important, but they would only be important, like I said, they are important as a magic, as a poof to be given to the customer once we have the basics available.
Completely agree. A lot of times it is just important to make sure that your basic data is available, your basic functions are working fine before you kind of go to AI and machine learning. But let's go to Titan back and Anuprato. There's a lot of huge offline play, as you said, in the business, right? So how do you kind of mix the online and offline world together and build customer loyalty across the two big spaces?
Yeah. So while we are still using online and offline, but I don't think in today's world these two can be bifurcated. We are living in a world where customers want a seamless experience, irrespective of the media or channel where they interact with the brand. Having said that, if you look at the last decade, the way the online commerce has evolved, there's literally everything that you can get, let's say, in a few days, or maybe in some categories in a few minutes as well. So today you can order an iPhone and it will be delivered to you here in Dubai for 15 minutes. But you will still see a lot of people queue up at the Dubai Mall Apple store, and that store is absolutely full. So in today's world, hence, retail plays a much larger role. It is moving from, let's say, a more transactional selling, which largely happens currently in the online space, to a more experiential selling that you can possibly do in an retail space, right? I mean, the fact we are designed, the retail is designed in such a way that you are able to give an experience in a 3D space versus a 5-inch phone, right? But I think the lines are blurring, and there is no way a brand can give exceptional customer service in one channel and neglect the other one. I mean, that will only lead to losing brand equity. So, talking specifically about loyalty, I think if we have the basics right, I mean, I think in one of the panels you said that someone is browsing a car online or a gadget online. In fact, it was a Tata Chroma example. Uh, you have the option of a store manager speaking to the store manager, and then they help you with some more information, which kind of helps you aid the decision making of buying or not. So we are trying to integrate some of these things. There's still a long way to go, but at our core, we want to give the best customer service, and irrespective of the channel that we interact with our customers.
Interesting. So, from between the online and the offline space, there are a lot of subscription programs that are coming into market now versus running a very traditional loyalty program. What do you think is the approach that has worked better? And is there any specific side you see, especially Titan Eyewear working in much more in terms of the way the business is operating?
We don't have a subscription model as such. We say that the moment you buy, you become a part of our family. So it's membership at no cost. So that is what we say. But I think what is more important is once you become a part of the family, how well are you able to engage with them? Talking more specifically about eye care, you like a product, you wear it. Maybe after 5 days, you kind of getting discomfort with it, right? So we have something called as a comfort call, which we do on the third day to check whether everything is right or not. Then we also have something, we do a service call, let's say after 3 months, that okay, you have been wearing the product for about 3 months now. It may have, let's say, loosened up here and there, or you would have rough used it somewhere. So why don't you come in and get a free service? Similarly, let's say on the 9th month, we will reach out to them saying, hey, you got your eyes tested 9 months back. Why don't you drop in and get a free eye test done? So I think that is how we are kind of engaging with the customers. And loyalty, I believe, is just an outcome of all the things that you do right.
Completely agree. So, Akash, maybe carrying on this point, how is and as it is transforming to a tech company, how are we internally thinking about building this customer engagement and building this loyalty?
Okay, so see, building a loyalty program in itself, or let's say, for example, building the whole loyalty comes with a lot of things that you have to look at. Firstly, like I said, if you know your customer well, the customer will obviously be loyal to you on its own, like he was talking about. Uh, while as I understand that there is no, he was talking about having not there's no subscription program there that they are having in. Subscription in itself is something that becomes a part and parcel of an online marketplace if you're offering in something extra to the customer in that. So while as if you look at the Smiles app in itself, there is the Smiles app is free to join in, or even the My Etisalat app. It's a service app that is there. It's free to join. Obviously, you can check your data balance, you can check your voice minutes, whatever is available, and you can join in and start earning in points from day one on Smiles. Uh, but what subscription basically offers is that if you are a customer who's a heavy user, or who understands that uh, I should be subscribed, or basically let's say, for example, I'll give you an example. We have a food delivery imbibed inside Smiles app. uh, it would be beneficial, and we share this as a savings calculator to our customers, that the average delivery fee for a food order is approximately around $7, 7 dirhams. If you are a subscriber, you get a delivery fee waived off for maybe, I don't know, 7 or 8 deliveries or so. So in itself, you have made the customer more loyal to you because he knows that for the next 8 orders or so, I will not have to pay a delivery fee or so. Having said that, what happens is that you increase two things. One, you increase the average revenue that you receive from the customer, his ARPU, which is again a telecom language, or so, his ARPU increases. Along with that, you increase your retention. So the lifetime value that you, the CLTV that you look for each customer is again much better in a subscriber as compared to somebody who is a non-subscriber. Having said that, the customers who are more engaged, is subscription is just to basically make the customers more engaged into the app itself. Uh, the churn ratio, so end of the day, what you're looking forward to is that if a customer is engaged with you, he does not churn out, right? uh, there is a solid 55 to 60% dropout in churn, lesser churn in customers who are your subscribers to a particular service as compared to customers who are not. So therefore, all these factors which you look at it, if you combine them together, right, uh, these play a pivotal role in terms of bringing the engagement or the retention into the customer. Beyond this, there are a lot of other factors that are there. As I was talking about knowing your customer very well, we send across a monthly digest to customers, uh, to every customer, in fact, talking about what they have done in the last 1 month, be it a purchase, be it an interaction, be it anything else. uh, and we have seen all the customers appreciating that across, because what we tell them is that even if they have missed a payment or so, we tell them that this has happened in 4 times in the last 2 months or so. Would you want to convert it into maybe a tabby, or you want to break your payments down into something or so? So that helps, because you know that you are knowing your customer pretty well, you know them, and you're offering in customized solutions based on that. So that helps in terms of your increasing in the loyalty from the customers.
Definitely, that's where a lot of personalization aspect comes in. Maybe one last question from my side. So, with all these actions that you're doing to kind of increase engagement of user, what kind of matrix do you use to understand the success?
See, it all, so there are multiple things that you have to look at while you're looking at an online or an offline business. Having said that, as I was talking before, for sure there are some factors which can be measured, some factors which can be partially measured. So from a measurable perspective, we look at customers churn rate, retention rate. We also look at their spending, what they have spent pre versus post. These are all measurable factors. Beyond this, we also look at factors which are more aesthetic, like for example looking at the NPS scores or so, looking at the VOC of the customers, looking at their intent to buy, looking at would a customer be ready to refer me to somebody else who is not a customer currently, the referenceability index. And also the finally looking at whether my top of mind awareness about my brand is higher than before or not. All these factors combined together, the soft touches, the soft factors, as well as the business factors, when you talk about your churn, your retention, your higher LTV, these combined together help. These are the things that we basically look at while looking at how has a program helped us in terms of increasing either a loyalty or or basically reduce churn.
Got it, got it. Super helpful. So, Anuprato, are there any different metrics or a different way that you look at measuring the success of your engagement campaigns and loyalty at Titan?
So again, I am not, let's say, a subject matter expert of loyalty or customer success as a function. I am largely from the business side, wherein I seek help from these functions and tell them that, okay, you got to do this. So I would only know the basic metric that I possibly track, and NPS has been, let's say, one of the easy tools for us to do that. Apart from that, the honest selling scores that I mentioned about. Apart from that, to some extent, the RFM models, that recency, frequency, and monetary. We cluster people basis this and see how what is the composition of customers in each of these metrics. Yeah.
Got it.
Our enterprise team, by the way, offers customer value management solutions as well. If you want, I can refer you to them.
Sure,
That's a
Akash.
sale being done here. I guess questions from the audience.
Any questions? Yes.
Since we are running short on time, one question. Okay.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for doing this. So, Akash, very quick question for you. I mean, you were trying to reflect upon smaller ARPUs and how to drive stickiness in that way, like subscriptions, etc., for all that to work. I keep going back, right? So to the very core. While all of these, they seem very natural, getting them done is extremely difficult. Orchestrating it throughout the org, making all of these happen. What's been sort of your experiences over the last few years in the best way to orchestrate for, let's say, in your case, if it had to be a subscription-led growth path for the next few years, where do you start? How do you make a case for this? And what is the kind of team that you build to make this happen in a cross-functional way? How do you overcome those hurdles?
Okay. Good question, actually. See, from a perspective of even if you talk, even before subscription, if we look at subscription is just a factor that is there, or just a means. What we have seen over the last few years, it's extremely difficult, firstly, to kind of dovetail all the things that a loyalty program or an organization at scale would want from its customers. It's extremely difficult. How do you do that? What we have seen is that if at some point of time you are able to have these interactions, whatever interactions you are having with the customers, be it smaller or be it the bigger ones, if you are able to capture all of those, firstly, at some point, at some place, be it a data lake, or be it anywhere else, if you are able to firstly capture those, once you have captured those, then comes the part wherein you segregate those. And I'm telling you, smaller organization as well as larger organization face this challenge, that, and it happens to the best of us, that you won't be able to segregate and you won't be able to club your data together in terms of understanding what the customer actually wants in. Subscriptions come at a very later stage, wherein you know that the customer has already come to you. You need to have the buy-in from every stakeholder within the company to make him firstly understand the vision, the thought process that you are having in. For a company like us, who was siloed, in fact, a few years back, it's extremely difficult, because everyone has got a different agenda that they're driving in. From an organizational perspective, the first thing I would say, the organizational change is really, really important. You need to have that one thought process, one vision, that you need to combine all these together, whatever information you have available, be it finance, be it customer service, be it marketing, be it sales, be it enterprise, be it, CCC, all these 6, 7, you need to combine together and look at singular view of the customer. Once you have done that, and then the path is easy. And having said that, then it is further broken down into branches. What I will do as a marketer to a customer may be really difficult or maybe different from a customer care engagement person. I may be not ready to give a compensation to a customer for a failed transaction, while as the customer care agent would be straight away saying that no, we need to offer a full refund to the customer. So having a singular view and then making your decision points based on that is really important. And then having in all the different people who are there in different facets of the organization, telling them that this is one view that we need to look at is really important. Once we have that, and every organization takes its own linear path towards achieving that. Once you have that, then the path becomes easy. And from a cross from a perspective of basically bringing in all the other departments into it, it becomes utmost important that with this view in mind, you would be able to bring in at some point of time what's best for the customer rather than what's best for your business. Thank you.
Fair enough. Thanks, Akash. Always a very long haul to get to that. Anubrat, I have a personal question. Well, not as personal, but so I know I'm a big fan of what Tata is doing with those loyalty points across businesses. Absolutely wonderful. And I wish more and more businesses do that. My question largely is to know when the party ends. I really want to understand if somebody has figured out the economics behind this. Because I have actually not paid in many Tata brands for the last few months because I've overpaid in some other brands. Now, of course, Tata makes money, so that's great. But the economics behind all this, I'm assuming, is all thought through. These are very smart people. So is this a short-term customer acquisition strategy or a very long-term play where Tata wants to continue to do this, incentivize people across brands? With a customer experience viewpoint, this is going to stay. I just want to know my party stays.
So I wouldn't really know. I wouldn't do crystal ball gazing here and let's say what is going to happen with the loyalty earn rates eventually in the future. But we will certainly continue using the platform to engage with the consumers more. I think more than today, the points could be a leverage to get the people onboarded on the platform. But once you see that that one single app can help you solve problems across all categories and it's a one-stop solution for all your needs, I think naturally people will have higher propensity to spend more time on it. And maybe even if the points are not so lucrative in the future, it would still make sense for them to use that platform. So
more of a behavior, sort of buying them by the behavior at this time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's far more than only the points. I mean, it's not that just because you are getting the points, hence you are spending time on the platform. I think people do derive value out of it. And if we are able to solve that, I mean, great. I mean, then you have created a sustainable business. And at Tata and Titan, we create sustainable businesses, right? I mean, if tomorrow, if let's say soon after we hypothetically stop giving points and people just don't come on the platform, that means there is a bigger problem that we need to solve.
Agreed. I totally agree with you. No, thank you so much for a wonderful discussion. Thanks, Muskan. Chalo.
Thank you, everyone.
WebEngage. Retention simplified.